In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning describes a certain period of time, not how many years ago theorized, but in fact, a certain period of time. At a certain period of time, God created the heavens and the earth. To create is to produce. To produce means to bring into existence by intellectual or creative ability. The heavens and the earth describes the mind and the body of man. Like the heavens, the mind of man is balanced. Every thought, state of awareness, or understanding is symbolic to every star. Like the earth, the body of man begins in an oval shape. Oval. And there was darkness upon the surface of the water of deep. Darkness describes the womb of the woman that sits upon the surface of the watery deep of her vagina. And God's active force was moving to and fro over the surface of the waters. The waters cover 3/4 of our planet Earth. Therefore, this active force of God would have to describe something vast. This active force of God would have to describe something pure, since we're talking about God. Like those clouds moving to and fro over the surface of the waters of our planet. Looking like the semen of man, this active force of God rains down on the earth, as sperm rains down on the oval. And God proceeded to say, "Let light come to be." To proceed means to begin or to continue a process already in motion. To let light come to be means to allow life to come into existence within the woman's womb. To let light come to be means to allow life, the knowledge of self and God, to come into existence within the wide open extent of the mind of man. Then there came to be light. Here are the facts. We were taken from our homeland, stripped of the knowledge of ourselves and God, made to identify our captives as masters, and were given a white God and a white religion that taught us black inferiority and white superiority. We have suffered the worst treatment the people have ever suffered in the history of our people. We were taught that the ancient Kemetic structures of Giza were of white and or extraterrestrial origin. We were totally blinded by the slave masters to the true knowledge of ourselves and God. But then there came to be light, the true knowledge of ourselves and God. After that, God saw that the light was good, and God brought about a division between the light and darkness. Seeing that the light, the knowledge of self and of God, was good, implies that an action and no actions are put into place to assure the qualities thereof. I'm quoting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan right now. Elijah Muhammad inspired new mind, new thought, new way of civilization among black people. But he wanted a house from which a light could be lifted up to give guidance to all who would be guided as this world begins to close down. This National Center for the Re-Education and the Retraining of the Black man and woman, but for the totality of the human family of our planet. I named this mosque after the only woman that the Quran names a chapter after, the mother of Jesus, very young. All human beings need to be re-educated. That is the purpose of the National Center. Being taught the true knowledge of ourselves and of God is like fertilization in process. We now have to come to term and do development within the womb of our conditioned slave mentality. As the developing life within the womb is connected to the placenta, we too must be connected to a supply source that nourishes and or maintains our development, the National Center. As the developing life within the womb, We come to the point and or the term of our development wherein a division occurs and we are separated from the darkness of our conditioned slave mentality. We come forth head first like a newborn baby, not so much out of the womb of a woman, but out of the womb of a conditioned slave mentality. And God began calling the light day, but the darkness he called night. To call is to name. To name is to give the nature and or the characteristics of a thing. A day is defined as the period during which the sun is above the horizon. Calling the light day, the knowledge of self and God, as the period during which the sun is above the horizon, describes the black man and woman of America rising above the limitations, the horizons, set by their slave masters. But the darkness he called night. Darkness describes the conditioned slave mentality of the black man and woman of America. Night is defined as a time or condition of gloom, obscurity, ignorance, or despair. And so, God began calling the conditioned slave mentality of the black man and woman of America as a time or condition of gloom, obscurity, ignorance, or despair. The key word here is time, meaning that it's not forever. Book of Genesis, chapter 15, verses 13 to 14. And it came to be darkness, and it came to be light, the first day. Darkness came by way of white supremacy and slavery here in America. Light came by way of the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The first day refers to the first period during which the sun is above the horizon. The first period of freedom. The first period of the knowledge of self and God.